You're listening to RTL SA.
In today's main story, we're going to talk about the NCCC, formerly known as the NCC and now known as fucking pointless. The NCCC has been at the center of all major criticism over the past few weeks over its handling of our coronavirus response and all-round human rights issues. Government has been dragged through the courts over the past few weeks over a variety of issues, from the contentious tobacco ban to the beauty industry, and more specific, the constitutionality of the lockdown regulations and the NCCC. Before we can understand where we are now with regards to the NCCC, we need to understand what the NCCC is and how it began. The country first heard about the NCCC on Sunday the 15th of March when Ramaphosa addressed the nation for the first time on government's response to COVID-19. In his address, Ramaphosa said that the Command Council will include, among others, members from the Inter-Ministerial Committee who are dealing with the impact of the coronavirus and will meet 3 times a week to coordinate all aspects of our extraordinary emergency response. It held its first meeting on the 17th of March, and the meeting was chaired by Ramaphosa himself. The NCCC usually meets twice a week on a Wednesday and a Sunday and lasts anything between 3 and 6 hours. The National Coronavirus Command Council has been the center of decision-making in government's response to curb the spread of COVID-19 and deal with the consequences of the pandemic. President Ramaphosa said last week that the NCCC was established as a committee of the cabinet. In a matter brought before the Western Cape High Court regarding constitutionality of the NCCC, Minister Lamini Zuma said in an affidavit that initially only 19 ministers served on the NCCC, but shortly after its establishment in the mid-March, as South Africa's COVID-19 infections escalated, all cabinet members were pulled into the Command Council. Although the whole cabinet is now on the NCCC, it is not a decision-making body, reads her affidavit. Rather, it coordinates, facilitates, and implements the government's response to COVID-19. The facilitation role includes enabling her, as a designated minister under the Disaster Management Act, to consult relevant ministers for the purpose of Section 27 of the DMA and more generally. President Ramaphosa also came out in recent times saying that the NCCC is not a decision-making body. The NCCC coordinates government's response to the coronavirus pandemic. The NCCC makes recommendations to Cabinet on measures required in terms of the national state of disaster. Cabinet makes the final decisions. This is according to President Ramaphosa. However, he went on to indicate that the NCCC has been making decisions on more than one address to the nation. On the 23rd of March, Ramaphosa had this to say.
The National Coronavirus Command Council has decided to enforce a nationwide lockdown for 21 days with effect from midnight on Thursday, the 26th of March.
And then subsequently on the 30th of March, he had this to say.
After careful consideration of the available evidence, the National Coronavirus Command Council has decided to extend the nationwide lockdown by a further 2 weeks beyond the initial 21 days.
Later on the 21st of April, he gave the clearest indication yet that the NCCC was a decision-making body.
The National Coronavirus Command Council met earlier today and determined that the National Coronavirus Alert Level will be lowered from level 5 to level 4 with effect from Friday, the 1st of May.
In a separate response, Ramaphosa added that all cabinet members currently sit on the NCCC, although this was not originally the case when the lockdown first started. If that is the case, and the NCCC is only an advisory committee to the cabinet, which in its entirety sits on the NCCC anyway, what is the point of having a National Coronavirus Command Council? Fucking pointless.
RTL SA.